to the Big 12 Music Chat. Our special guest today is the least known person in the entire VC, Mr. Thom Bennett.
Woo! How are you? We're good. How are you?
Good to see you, Tom. Now, for those guys that are watching this that are actual video makers in the VC, you probably don't know who the hell I'm talking to because he's been in he's made 4 videos, or you've seen him in a Chris video. And I guess if you end up in a Chris video, it's like celebrity status. Would I be wrong, Tom? Is that not an honor to, find yourself in a Chris video?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, Chris is sort of a beloved figure. But I think he just puts me in because I've known him for 20 years. So
I feel.
And we still talk to each other, which is amazing.
I don't think seeing Tom in a Chris video counts upon reflection. But one of my first Chris videos, Tom was in it. So I was like, okay, here we go. Another 2 strange Yanks to watch. And Tom is this big, tall, slightly weirdo, slightly out of Chris. They weren't 2 identical looking buddies, but you could see why they were always friends. You could see the history in their friendship because they were just 2 weirdos that met.
We've had different looks over the years. We don't look like, we don't dress alike. We don't,
Well, the other thing is Chris is eased off on the hair products.
When I first met Chris, he used to wear a fedora, like an Indiana Jones style, not like a hipster fedora, like an actual Indiana Jones fedora. And I still have friends who only know Chris, who have met him a few times, who are like, the dude with the fedora? I'm like, yeah, that's him.
But is that called a fedora, or is that like, I don't know. I think it's like the lion tamer hat, man. I
don't even know what the hell. It was like a legit Indiana Jones hat, and he's chain smoked. So he's chain smoking, Indiana Jones, long hair, ponytail, the whole thing. But that's exactly the kind of person. When I was in college, I walked in. I met. He's exactly the kind of person I would never talk to, and then 20 years later, we're still friends. So.
But that's Chris's fighting the system technique there, where the rest of us have got a mohawk or a leather jacket or whatever. Chris has got the fucking hat and, deeply unfashionable for 100 years, and he's rocking the fedora.
What are you talking about?
He's a huge music fan. I've never seen the dude wearing like a T-shirt of any concert, of any band, anything to indicate that he likes it, other than like a record collection. He has nothing to indicate that he likes music or a band in any way. Meanwhile, I have like fucking Kiss ashtrays, and 99% of the time I'm wearing some sort of a band T-shirt. I mean, I fucking band tattoos and everything else. I mean, this guy, you would not know a goddamn thing about him just by looking at him, which is great. I mean, which is like
he's subversive. He's going to take us over from the inside.
He's subversive. He's even like next level subversive.
Is that like a new genre? Is that like
it's its own thing? Yes.
If you get an invite to the farm, going back to what you said, if you get an invite to the farm and you're in one of Chris's videos, you're going to be seen by a good few hundred people. So for Tom, you're effectively part of the furniture for Chris's videos. You're just like a sidekick. So you go off on your own and you say, right, he's talking into it. He says, right, you have to create your own YouTube channel. I want you to do it. And you go off and make videos, and then you make 4, and then you stop. What's the story?
I'm lazy, for one thing. I like the other night I was going to make a video. I was on from work. I got sick at the beginning of the week. We had a snowstorm. Like, any excuse to not make one is good enough for me. Like, even though it takes all of 10 minutes to make one, my videos, the longest one is maybe 9 or 10 minutes. I'm like, Chris, keep it short. School. It's sort of the Terrence to do a film snob, the Terrence Malick school of make a couple of things and then don't do shit for like decades, and then bombard everybody like 15 years later with a bunch of shit that nobody's going to want to see.
Well, it's kind of like Guns N' Roses a little bit,
Exactly. This is my Chinese democracy period. But when I unleash something, it'll suck. Don't worry about it. And then I always mark contests that I want to do videos for, like, oh yeah, I'll do a video response for this. And yeah, I don't think I've ever actually, other than Ned had a contest that I did a video response for once. Other than that, I don't think I've ever done one. So
that was actually when I met you, Tom, was my contest video. So the ironic part is you missed my contest drawing and you won the prize and I mailed it out. So I hope you liked it.
Oh yeah, it was what was it?
Oh, you didn't get it?
No.
You know what? It must be hung up in Memphis somewhere.
Well, that seems to be a lot of the VC contests seem to go sort of vanish into the ether, I guess, as to put it poetically.
Hands up.
Even these, to the punk rock VC's credit, to the various VC factions, I like to keep up on all the factions.
You're a faction guy.
The Secret Santa punk rock VC, at least for me, went off without a hitch.
Yeah,
I got my records.
Definitely. I mean, my guy was.
I was dealing with a reputable guy, so it was fairly.
Yeah, well, only two haven't exchanged, but everybody else of the 10 of us have exchanged. So 2 of the guys hadn't. So, well, maybe while we're talking about it, we could show some records just to get us warmed up. So, Tom here very kindly sent me this. I was lucky to draw Tom. When I said I was lucky, it was because there was nobody for me to actually draw against until Tom came along and said, "Am I too late?" And I was like, "Yes, you're not too late, because finally I'll get somebody to draw with." So he sent me New York's finest Iron Sheik. Oh, look at that.
Oh, look at that.
I just picked this up today, and I wanted to see, since I can't see your face right now because the software's shitty, I wanted to see what your color was.
Oh yes, this is interesting, because if you just bought it, you probably got the new pressing, which is probably the same one that I have.
Let's see. Let's compare notes. Yeah, wait, hang on. I think mine's a half and halfer. Like David's.
Oh, see, mine's all blue. And I live about 8 miles away from where all the Iron Sheik people are, so I figure I should have the cool one, but no, you two have the cool one. And
so have we got the OG, the original gangsta presents, have we?
I got the more recent pressing, which I actually ordered before I ordered yours. I ordered yours from Amazon. I ordered mine from them. Mine came about 2 weeks after yours, so.
Well, that's the power of big corporations that don't pay tax. They can just get stuff to you straight away. Sorry for my ongoing Amazon digs in this show. So
I'm with you guys. I'm just kind of rooting around here.
This was a great record for me because I was in the mood for something new and fresh in the punk sound, especially after Ned trying to get me into various boy band punk that I couldn't stand. And it was really doing my head in, but no, to his credit, he did get me into some good stuff, but I really, really enjoyed that record. I don't know what age these guys are, but it made me feel like they really knew their stuff and they were able to play something that sounded unique enough, but still a classic punk record, so I really enjoyed it.
Some of the guys in Iron Sheik, I don't actually. They just reissued it again. So I'm going to see them in like 3 weeks. So I'm just going to pick up a bunch of shit at the show because they used to play around here. Yes, exactly. I always try to buy stuff at a show from the artist if I can, And I go to enough shows where that's normal. But Iron Sheik, yeah, they're I don't keep up big on the local music scene as much as I should, because actually Long Island, as much as it's ridiculed as like suburbia, I mean, it's the prototypical suburb. It's like the first real suburb in the world, and it's the prototype of suburbs. But there's a decent punk. There's always been a decent hardcore scene. A bunch of great bands come from here. So it's easy to dismiss, but I've been trying. And Iron Sheik is actually somebody, a band that, like, a bunch of people just mention to me constantly, and I always kind of just dismiss. I'm not good at taking musical suggestions from people who either I don't know what else they listen to, or they think that they figured out what I like, and then they're like, oh, you seem like you would like this band for no valid reason. So I'm like, okay, but then I don't even know where I heard a song somewhere, and I loved it. It reminded me kind of Suicide Machines, which is a band that I used to love, like a 90s, like almost like 90s punk bands without trying to sound like a 90s punk band. Like they have their own sound, but and I immediately fell in love with it. And then I found out they used to be two of the guys used to be in a band called Small Arms Dealer, which is a band that I had heard and I think I saw once, but I mean, there's a million bands I've seen that I forget that I've seen, or that they open for somebody. But so yeah, they're this like kind of great. Like I've been kind of trying to hype them up a little bit because they're a local band and they're great. I mean, they deserve they seem, and they're not so abrasive that they couldn't be on the radio or couldn't be popular. And I think they're actually doing they're doing a European tour soon. Mm-hmm. Maybe with no effects. I might have made that up completely, but I seem to remember reading that somewhere, so I think that's kind of cool.
Well, what's cool about Iron Sheik, and it was funny when you had brought him up to me that one day about what I think David liked him. Peter recommended that I pick this one up probably 2 years ago. And I never got around to it, so I downloaded it, and I just fell in love with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, but so, David, what'd you think of the record? I mean, would you say that it was, hang on, let me read the hype sticker. Would you say that it was slightly macabre and totally fist-pumping?
I would. I mean, I've listened to it about 4 times now and downloaded it. So when you say it's slightly macabre, I suppose it has a modern day possible Misfits sound, like a band kind of the same area.
We have somebody trying to call into our call. Shall I allow him in?
Oh, that'll be good. Let's see what happens there.
Depends. It is. Oh my God! What's this? What's this?
What's going on?
Who the fuck's pranking our call?
Where'd he go?
He's over there.
Can you see me?
I can see you.
No, I
yes,
can't
my
see,
friend.
but it doesn't matter. I couldn't see the last time either.
I can't miss those chubby cheeks. I can't miss them.
This happened. I think exactly at 40, I've got this huge Ned Beatty fatty chin. And there's just nothing I can do about it.
They say the camera adds a chin or two, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is true.
Hey, look, here's my beard. Say hello. There you go.
But Chris is the one man who enjoys the lower shot, the underneath shot. Every other man likes to sort of be up like this and, not showing anything underneath.
I mean, this is, where you look best.
That's where they taught us in film school to put the camera up to make people not look chinny.
Yeah, but my arms can't handle that, so I like putting you guys right here in my crotch.
Chris is going for the not so majestic version of the Citizen Kane shot, where he looks very big and powerful, but
let's do this then.
Oh, that's it. It really just accentuates. Oh, there you go. See now. That looks like an important.
What have you done, boys?
We've been playing with ourselves.
No, actually, we just got done talking bad about Chris. I like
Perfect
it when Tom.
Hey,
Yeah,
Tom's drinking urine. Great.
I like it when Tom does something like this. I don't know if anybody can even see it. No, you can't because it doesn't work that way.
Here,
I bet Chris can't show his. I bet Chris can't show his Iron Sheik record though to complete the foursome. So
let's try that again. Let's try it again. Ned,
Chris, do you have a copy of this?
Get yours on.
No, I'm not part of the.
Lift your Iron Sheik record, please.
Well, it's new, so I would never have it.
Yo, take that.
That'll be the next VCLT I send. The next VCLT I sent to Chris. Chris is actually from even closer to where Iron Sheik is from. Iron Sheik is a band from Huntington, Chris.
Oh, well, that's my hometown.
There you go.
You could have been neighbors.
You could have been in Iron Sheik.
There's also debate whether EPMD came from Wyandanch or Hempstead. I hear both, but I'll say Wyandanch is part of my town.
Is that like when De La Soul, that people claim they're from Amityville because they need more street cred than being from Massapequa?
Well, then I heard they're from Hicksville, so I don't know.
I used to work in the mall in the Sunrise Mall, Chris. You know it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's this kind of gross mall it used to not be so gross, but it's kind of gross now. In Massapequa, New York, glorious Massapequa, New York, and I used to see De La Soul wandering around the mall all the time. In their,
De La Soul
various
that's one of my favorite bands of all time. I mean, and that's no bullshit. That band's super fun.
Were
But
they
I'll tell you
begging?
why Chris will never have this is because it's not a guy playing a bucket. Like it's not like a one-man band.
Right. Or it's not Casio tone, or recorded on a wire recorder. And I'm not.
No, it's funny. It's funny though because over the years, Chris and I have been able to suggest a certain amount of music to each other that we both love. Like Sparks is a band that I love that Chris completely introduced me to. Or even like the anti-folk, like Kimya Dawson, all those bands, like Chris kind of was my entryway into that. But we've tried to sell each other on some shit that neither of us has even had a remote interest in. I've been trying to convince Chris to like Ryan Adams for at least 15 years. It just doesn't work,
No, it's not interested. Good man, Chris.
And then
Tom, you were talking earlier.
I used to be like a Sonic Youth bully.
Oh, you were? Are you still a Sonic Youth bully?
And I am a Sonic. I don't understand why anybody doesn't love Sonic Youth. Why everybody's like, if you're listing 5 bands that are your favorite bands, why one of them isn't Sonic Youth? And it just never quite worked with Chris. So
part of it, I don't know. It's not rebellion, but when you really push for a band, that turns me off sometimes more. So he's been turning me, he's like, Daydream Nation is the greatest, since college. I mean, I remember in college he had this shirt. He was using it as a soundtrack. It's like, you got to listen to this. But I'm just not interested because he was just campaigning so hard. I'm like, I'm just never going to like it this much. Forget it.
It's funny though, because
that's true.
Before Chris joined us, Tom was exactly saying the same thing. So he's talking about how he doesn't take personal recommendations from people anymore. People turn up to him and say, "Oh, you like this band? You're going to like this band." But yet, with your closest friends, you will accept and you will at least give them the ear and you will listen to them. So close friends will always get you into a band, but yet you two are so close that's kind of you've played that out now, and you're just like, fuck, he doesn't know what he's talking about. I've heard it all before from him.
But now I think even more so though, it's as important to not know what people don't like. I mean, people who know you passively know what you like, but they really don't know what you hate, which is as important. I know stuff to not Iron Sheik is a band, they're great. Chris would find he'd listen to it and he would think it was fine. He wouldn't think that it was good, he wouldn't think that it was bad, he would just think that it was fine. And he would never listen to it again. So
who says that?
That's enough.
Who would say that's just fine?
I do that.
But there's plenty of bands. There's so many bands that are just fine. They're good. I just don't like them. Or I don't care. I mean, there's bands I actively don't like, but.
But then there's really weird things. I can't sell. Tom couldn't sell me on why I should listen to Cassette Boy. But he said, listen to Cassette Boy, and I did. And, of course, it was awesome, that was, there's no, it's this guy, and he's kind of a DJ, and he takes Jamie Oliver clips and makes it sound like he's, masturbating, and puffing himself in the face. That is just not, I wouldn't have listened to that. But it, I guess it all depends. Maybe it depends just on the day.
And Chris and I went through this insane phase where we were very into the outsider music movement, and just like any strange like field record. Like I was buying field recordings of a guy who buried a microphone in his backyard for like a month, and then just recorded like he could claim he could hear worms, and like we would listen to. But then like there would be like a gem. That was shit, essentially, but, then there'd be a gem like an Anton Maiden, if you guys ever heard of Anton Maiden, which is just this dude singing Iron Maiden songs. That's amazing, and Chris and I both thought this was, BJ.
Oh, you're not even selling it. You're not even selling it nearly well enough, Tom. It was a Swedish guy singing Iron Maiden songs, and he used like old school MIDI files of Iron Maiden.
Yeah,
so it sounds like an NES, and then he is butchering the language. And then he killed himself, which is like another thing we found. We found an album of a dude who killed himself, and his friends released the album. And it was called Tote Song, because that's like the dump of the file used to say TOHTSONG 001, 002, 003. So we found out that, because we Googled it, and the only thing we can come up with was that the Raiders of the Lost Ark bad guy was called Tote. So we made our own cover of his face melting, and it's a run of 2 of 2. Tom's got a copy and I have a copy, and it's awesome. It's like this really weird, bangy, industrial kind of music, and this dude killed himself to it. 2 people own it.
So, and we would essentially go and download stuff, and we came up with like. There's probably like 50, 100 CDs, I don't even know, of just like nonsense. And we would each make like 2 copies of it, whatever it was. And then Chris went to IKEA, and he'd go online, as Chris tends to do, and he's figuring everything. And he found the perfect box that it would fit in. And so there's 2 box sets of this amazing set, 2 CD box sets of this amazing collection of crazy music. Chris is going to go get it. I could walk 2 feet over and go get it right now.
No, I'm making dinner here. Hold on.
Oh, Chris is making dinner. It's just amazing. Hold on, I'm gonna just bail for 1 second because
the box set.
This is well worth seeing.
So, Chris, what do we have tonight?
What you see here is
I gotta tell you
the music, the box set of
a goddamn thing. I can't
Sing Along with JF. Oh wait, here you go. Cosby on Drugs. This Cosby on Drugs could become a very popular. I should burn this for everybody in the VK.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you look, this is the box set of stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
Which
Little Marcy. Oh, holy crap, Tom! I found 2 Little Marcy albums down here in Winston-Salem, but I couldn't buy them because they're just so creepy. So he's got their Little Marcy, which was a ventriloquist. Christian ventriloquist who would like talk about Satan, and she had this creepy doll that almost looked like Chucky. And then we found these, and so there you go, Little Marcy. Judy Taylor was a guy who would scat over regular records. He was just this black guy who, he called himself the human horn, and and he thought he was singing.
And then there's. I don't know. It's kind of Cosby on Drugs and Sing Along with JFK.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't even remember what that is, but I know what I'm listening to tomorrow.
Go for that.
I was going to say, so the field recordings thing. Number one, I don't know what happened. I lost my composure, but what was going on for me was like, so there was the Indiana Jones thing that came up, which destroyed me. And then there was the field recordings thing. And I was going to say, I swapped a guy in the VC for 2 of these. And I know a guy in the VK who wants these, and I'll probably send them to him. But I don't understand the field recording thing. I can't think of a least enjoyable type of music to possibly listen to.
Patton Oswalt's got a joke about why NPR is terrible. It's because Marissa, can you do the bit about the Peruvian jokes? What do you say?
It was like NPR.
Yeah, he was just making fun of NPR, and he was like, coming up next, Peruvian throat singing, stream singing, and I got that. It's like the worst. I've got this crazy Oompa Bulgarian band that is just, and it's, why do you have it, Chris? Because it really is cool. It's so fast. It's like polka Oompa music, but like at 150 beats a second. It's crazy, and it's somewhere in there. The same reason why I've got on CD. It was a woman trying to convince everyone why colon cleansing is important.
There's a collection called the Conant Project, which is just recordings. Chris, you could probably describe this better because you actually purchased this and then copied it for me, so I didn't have to actually.
You can get it free, unfortunately, now online at archive.org. Marissa bought it for me. She had to. Only one store sold it in San Francisco. It was $50, and it's a 4 CD set of shortwave radio stations that have their number stations, which is a holdover from spies. So you'd have a spy out in the middle of, Pakistan, and they'd build themselves a shortwave radio, and then all it is just a bunch of numbers, right? 5, 4, 7, 8, 2, 4, 3, 1, and that they'd write down the number on a one-time pad, and they'd find out, okay, you got to kill the president, or no, see you tomorrow, right? And the book, this is the selling point. The book actually is researched. This is, track 4 is the Mossad, track 5 is KGB, and other people are trying to jam the signal. So now it becomes this really, it's freaky as shit, because you don't know if somebody died, you don't know what you're listening to. And you hear these other people trying to jam the signal, and sometimes there's to make sure that you're listening to the right one, there's this sound effect that lets them know, okay, I'm listening to the right one, and you hear this creepy 5, 3, 4, and the part of it was sampled on Wilco's Yankee Hotel Foxtrot. Yankee Hotel Foxtrot. That came from this set, and they were sued, and they were like, how could you sue? You stole it off the air. And so they won their case. Well worth the money. It was and it's, when you listen to it, it's freaky. And, it feels like this old war thing going on. It's just awesome.
See, that's something I should completely enjoy, but what blows my mind is, you've never done a drug in your life and you listen to stuff like this. I mean, for me, that would be entertainable because I've destroyed myself, but, I mean, you're not ruined yet.
Well, it doesn't matter, because there's always someone who's going to top you, right? I'm like, okay, I know everything about, I don't know everything, but I know a lot about outsider music. I know a lot of weird indie. Michael Dill has me way beat.
Oh, yeah.
I am nothing compared to Michael Dill.
Absolutely.
I've got a signed picture from Kenya Dawson from the Moldy Peaches, right? She drew it for me. It's up there, right? There it is.
Nice.
And he's got something that an insane person scribbled in blood and feces and mailed to him.
Well, now, David, what's your take on Chris's the underground music scene?
Right. Well,
is that even what it is?
First of all, Michael Dill is obviously is fucking lo-fi coming out of his ass. I put on a Sabado record once that he didn't have, and I thought to myself, yes, I have beaten him. And then straight away, there's days and days of these bands that I've never heard of, but yet Michael has the details so much. He knows their movements, where they are at any point in time, and I'm just like, that guy is fucking underground. I am just on the top of the water, I am just on the surface, that guy knows the works,
Because when I started
Tom's the same way, right? Tom and I know our Stevie Moore. We know him, and I mean, I've gotten correspondence from our Stevie Moore. I don't have, like, the level that Dill's got. It's crazy.
No, that's a whole nother level of something.
Something.
I'm so glad he's making videos now. Only two people know what he's talking about: the guy who made the record and the one who
I watch his videos and I don't even know how to comment. I'm like, dude, I watched your video. I don't know what you're talking about.
So while we're on here, let's get back to
it's almost dinner time. Is there anything I can answer about Thom that you need before I ditch out of the call?
Okay, Thom, as a person, he, what is the tattoo thing? You had mentioned to me that he might have some potentially questionable tattoos. I'd like to get into that a little bit.
Wait, he's got Charlie Chaplin and Woody Allen right there on camera.
I do have Woody Allen.
Oh, and Divine. I'm sorry, and then Divine underneath.
Yes, I have Divine underneath. I have the end title card to a French movie, to Godard's Weekend, on my wrist. And I love getting tattoos. I love getting tattooed. I love actually the act of sitting and getting tattooed. I never wanted a sleeve. I kind of like getting individual things that just strike me at any given time is sort of how it happens. Or if I go someplace, I like to get one while I'm there, just to kind of do. My best tattoo story is a friend of mine's band played at the Viper Room over the summer, and I was out in LA for work, so we were all out there. We go see his band play at the Viper Room. I made a very horrible River Phoenix joke to the bartender, and I thought he was going to throw me out. They have a drink called the Viper Mule at the Viper Room, so. I have no idea what the fuck is in this. It's green and it's glowing. And I'm like, I'll have one of those. I'm like, and as he's handing it to me, I'm like, wait, this isn't what killed River Phoenix, is it? And the guy looked at me like I took a shit on the bar. I mean, the guy just wanted nothing. He's just looking at me. He's like, really? I'm like, it can't be too soon. It's 20 fucking years ago. So I'm like,
it's too soon.
So anyway, it's 2 a.m. I walk out of the Viper Room. I walk across the street. I get a tattoo from a guy who had tattooed all of the members of Motley Crue. And I'm slightly inebriated on Sunset Boulevard in L.A. getting a tattoo at 2 o'clock in the morning. And, that just seemed like the coolest thing in the world to me. And what I got was a Bikini Kill tattoo right here, which is the Bikini Kill logo. So...
Was that in the Hep C for free?
It doesn't take a lot to get. I would get one as a joke. Like it doesn't really mean a lot to me. I have ones that mean a lot to me, and then I have ones that are just kind of fun. But I mean, even the ones that are fun, I mean, they're all like I have a Woody Allen tattoo. I love fucking Woody Allen. I don't love fucking Woody Allen. I love Woody Allen.
I mean,
But I mean, I understand. And the funny thing is, I actually wanted to get a tattoo of Roman Polanski. But Roman Polanski doesn't translate at all into a tattoo at one point. And it's like, a tattoo of Roman Polanski is hard to explain to people who just know Roman Polanski as being,
you could just have a picture
or whatever.
Yeah, a picture of you fucking a 13-year-old.
You're not going to get invited to babysit with that.
I mean, for however long my YouTube channel picture was Fatty Arbuckle's mugshot, because he's another person who I love. So. So yeah, So yeah, the tattoos. There's all kinds of stuff going on my arms. So.
And I'm not slighting you because I have bad tattoos myself, and it's just.
And the weird thing is, my Chaplin tattoo is actually a cover-up of a smaller Chaplin tattoo, which is even the weirder. I had a tiny
bizarre,
tattoo
dude.
of Charlie Chaplin that I hated from when I got it. So the tiny tattoo of Charlie Chaplin's all in Chaplin's hat, actually, on my Chaplin tattoo. So, and I have the Marx Brothers on the back of my arm. So it's Chaplin under Chaplin. So it's there's a lot going on there.
Holy.
How's that work in the dating scene? Are you like, let me show you my Woody Allen tattoo?
Yeah, that's huge. That works big. That works big with people.
Then on the,
And Divine, that's
Divine. Well, that works great depending on who you're trying to attract at any given time. But
sure.
yeah, and if you look really closely inside Charlie Chaplin's hat, there's another Charlie Chaplin in there.
There's two.
That's fucking insane. Right, Chris, before you go, I just wanted to sort of, I don't know at what stage you brought Thom into the VK. I guess I've been there for 6 or 9 months, but he's recently been on a bit of a run of, shall we say, Photoshop masterpieces. So, it's nice just to sit back and see what the VK sometimes throws at you on a given day. So you can be gone for a few days, and there's this fucking pile of fucking hilarious shit just waiting on you. But the one you did, the Photoshop you did of this exact show was just fucking immense, and it really made my day. Like, I hadn't seen Photoshop involving me that made me laugh so much in about 10 years. The last time someone did a fire in the hole sort of Photoshop of me a long time ago, and it was just fucking made my day. So what do you think, Chris? Do you think Thom comes alive more in the VK at the moment, or is he just having one of those streaks that everybody hits every once in a while and the good stuff just keeps coming?
Thom is one of those guys that, if you met him at a party, you'd be like, wow, he's a pretty boring fucking guy. He just doesn't say anything. But then once you get him going, he's going, and he's on, and he's hilarious. I mean, that's just the way he is. It takes a second or two for him to warm up to you, but then once he does, so I think that's what the VK was, once he came in, he's like, oh, okay, I can hang with these guys, and then he just let himself be himself.
I mean, and I love breaking balls. I mean, I don't mind having my balls broken. I'm almost impossible to insult. I mean, there's really very little that's ever going to offend me. There's very little that's going to insult me. But yeah, if I just see something that's just either I think is funny, and the thing with the Photoshop of this show, I mean, that's funny to exactly the amount of people who have seen this show and who are in the VK. So I mean, I like to play to my audience. So it's if I have a captive audience of 50, these are inside jokes, because they don't make sense. They wouldn't make the least bit. Like, I could show that to any one of my friends and they'd be like, I don't even know what the fuck that is. I don't know who these people are, and I don't know what's funny about it. But
right, the dill pickle jar. No one's going to get that.
No, that's just become an ongoing where I'm like doing Google searches for like pictures of fucking pickles, just to, like okay, here you go, here's the pic. You can't like that. It's not funny. It's not funny in the world, but it's funny in that room. It's like.
Well,
so it's just, and the most important thing to know, I don't know how to use Photoshop. I don't have Photoshop. This is like such slapped together shit. Like, there's no skill. There's no anything. It's like a free image program, and I'm just like cutting and pasting things and just kind of trying to blur out parts of it. I mean, a third grader, someday like one of my sons will show me how to use Photoshop or something. But until then, it's just like,
well, I like to test.
But then,
hang on, I need to test you on this, Thom, while I still have Chris. You're talking about how you won't take offense, like having your balls busted. So I admire a man with sideburns. I'm wearing a beard at the minute. I have had a good set of sideburns. Would you mind telling me why you wear your moustache on your forehead?
I've known Thom for at least 20 years, and he looks exactly the same as the day I met him. There's a man who sticks with it.
How do you do it?
Hey, listen, that's what you tell people at a high school graduation if you're, like, single. You don't just tell your buddy that.
I don't know. The first video I saw of you, and it was at Chris's house, and it was so coiffured and like almost like Eastern German's kind of classic moustache with the wee towards at the end. What has he got on his head? Has he got a fucking moustache on his head?
I have.
Sort of like when Michael Palin would dress up. You know, he'd wear the round glasses. When Michael Palin did like the straight guy on Python. That's hairstyle.
I have horrible hair, and I pay absolutely zero attention to it, which is forever. I mean, when I was a kid, I had like a ridiculous like bowl cut haircut, and then I just kind of cut my hair short. I've had the same fucking haircut forever. When I was in college, my hair was just longer, and I would wear a Sonic Youth Dirty hat. Actually, I wore it probably like 8 out of 10 days. I would wear this hat. I don't care. Is that a good enough answer? I don't.
Ironically, Tom,
I would almost actually love to just shave my head completely, but I'm too skinny to pull off that look. I would look. So people would start, having teleprompters for me and worrying about me. People would think that I wasn't long for the earth if I shaved my head. So I'm figuring.
Now, David's
you look like the guy from the Hills Have Eyes that way.
That could work. That could be a good look, though.
David, how long have you had your haircut, buddy?
Haircut? Since probably mid-20s. But, I go for the Ian McKay look, that's what Tom would look like, I think, if he had a skinhead. I don't fuck with a bald.
Yeah, you can call it Ian McKay, buddy.
Yeah, don't fuck with a bald.
But I should see, with the missed opportunity, I should have shaved my head when I was like 18, 19, when I would go see like Fugazi and all these bands, and people would be used to it by now. It would just shock people, and I think people would worry at this point. The people in my life would worry if
I wish I could shave my head to be more punk rock. I just right now have to do it out of necessity.
I spend like 8 minutes getting out the door in the morning, so it's anything, whatever's the least maintenance involved. That's about as good as I can do. All right. I got the sideburns though. I mean, I've had the sideburns forever, so I mean, it's just I occasionally grow in a full beard, but my beard is just as gray as shit. And you can check with Chris on my thing before about when I first met Chris. He used to wear like an Indiana Jones like fedora.
We heard about that, Chris.
And a flannel shirt and chain smoke, and that was kind of, and a ponytail, and that was kind of. And
I was a film student, and I wore the outfit. And in the 90s.
Almost precisely, like, I would look at him and just be like, this is somebody I don't know that I ever want to talk to. And, 20 years later, we're still friends. So,
But that's how it
don't
happens.
Judge a book by his ponytail.
My best friend, whenever I met him, he had like long hair down to here, army jacket, Dr. Martin boots up to his knees, and like a fucking Entomb t-shirt with like some bestial thing raping a nun, and I was like, holy fuck, who is that guy? Like, I want nothing to do with him, and he is the guy that this was the first record he ever gave me, which is one of my top 5 from
which is one of the greatest records.
Yeah, so
I can't see it. So what is it? Let me into the secret.
The Smiths' first album. So this was the first record.
Suffer Little Children, one of the greatest songs ever written.
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
It is, yes. So I got to give this guy my props. And a couple of the bands he got me into were my first ever bands of that genre that I ever heard. So, he saved rock, heavy metal for me too. He made me, first time I'd ever listened to Danzig and the Misfits was through this guy as well. So, your best friends can do a lot for you. But now, I get into his car and he's got fucking pure death metal still going. He hasn't changed, and his core tastes are still fucking crazy death metal that I can't really listen to. But yet we can still meet in the middle on all these different genres and still have shit in common. Like, so you two are just like me and my mate Stevie, so it's nice to see that everybody has a buddy like that who you've known for 20 or 30 years, and you probably know forever.
And my oldest son Shane thinks that Chris is like the coolest person on the planet. So that's he thinks Chris is like an inventor who lives on a farm. Like that's his perception of, which isn't that far off. It isn't like. But I mean, like, it's something like my son likes to build these like kind of crazy. He just builds contraptions and things, and he'd be like, "Oh, Chris would know how to do blah 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 blah." So it's it's cool. It's cool when like
Do you not feel a wee bit in that?
It's cool. And then you're like, I don't know how to do a damn thing. But let me figure out how to.
I don't know how to make things.
I went over Tom's son. I was getting that. I didn't know what else to show Shane, right? So, and he really didn't say much the first time I met him. So I was showing him my ham radio thing because, he was just kind of interested in that. And there was a contest going on. And when there's a contest, there's like a serial number that you make up, and you give each other signal reports, and you go, okay, well, thank you. So this was going to be my first contact, so I said, okay, I'm 159, right? So 59, best signal. And the guy is like in, I don't remember, Italy or Germany, right? He goes, thank you for your number one. No, thank you for your number two, because it was the second contact. And Shane was quiet the whole time. He just goes, thank you for your number two. And then that was the running joke the whole time. Thank you for your number two. And I'm like, this kid is awesome.
Much older than you.
Yeah, he's a little old man inside however old body he is. He's just the greatest. And Tom's been taking him to like concerts since he was a kid. What's some of his favorite music is music that he should be proud to have a son who's that well versed in music,
His favorite song is "Love Will Tear Us Apart" by Joy Division. So, yeah.
I think he was like 5 or 6. Tom took him to a record store day, and he was allowed to pick one record. He picked Richard and Linda Thompson's "Shoot Out the Lights."
I had my kid programmed to good music, and then Dr. Deadwack sends me this fucking thing. Here, hang on. It's the only record I've ever really considered just breaking out of spite. But the hippo in the bathtub, and now it's like every time I go to put a record on, my kid's like, I want to listen to my record, Daddy. So then I got serious, like the Teddy Bear's Picnic, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I mean, I had you listening to the Smiths, I had you listening to, punk rock. Hot water music was big, and now I'm back to it's like you reverted, and I got to get him back on track, man.
So, hang on a minute.
His son has seen better concerts than I've seen in the last, 15 years.
So, Tom's bringing up a nihilist. And Ned is impatient with the child and won't let him listen to what he wants to listen to. What's happening in the world?
The Spice Girls is what's happening in the world. I mean, ever since the Spice Girls, it's been
don't ever diss the Spice Girls. All right, here we go. Spice Girls are one of my favorite bands. The Spice Girls are actually one of my. I won't say bands because they're not a band. One of my favorite groups. I love the Spice Girls. So
is it an erotica thing for you, or is this like
absolutely
for real
not.
passion for the music?
I have seen Sporty Spice twice solo in concert.
Solo? What the fuck?
I have seen the Spice Girls only once. I don't. It's the weirdest thing. I've seen the movie. I saw the movie the day it opened. It's a good ground for all the highfalutin shit that I like, and like dissonant, kind of weird, Sonic Youthy. No way.
Sure?
It's the other end. You gotta like the other end. It's the other part.
Now, David,
These guilty
you're
pleasures, but then this is like, actually like lock up guilty. You know what I mean? I mean, this is pushing it.
Hey, I don't even pretend like I'm trying to do it for some ironic hipster reason. It's just I will listen to. I own Zero on vinyl because it's way too expensive. The Spice Girls on vinyl is too expensive.
all
right, everybody. Look at that. Dinner time. I'm out. Enjoy your
Chris, it
chat.
was great having you, buddy. Great having you.
Good seeing all of you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, my brother.
David, now you're from the UK, so give me a UK perspective. Well, whatever. I don't know how it's a little dicey with you, but so you're from North Ireland. Now, the Spice Girls, are they as hated in the UK as they are in the States?
No, probably not. It's kind of, they're just like another in a long line of manufactured pop bands. You know, there's no talent, and all there is money and children. You know, kids buy the records, they go out and tour, put out shit records out, and it's just a chain that's been going on since the 60s. So the Spice Girls, no, they probably don't have any more hate than any other manufactured pop band. So what puzzles me is
It's very much
blatant honesty about it. Everybody else, if they like the Spice Girls, they're going to be gay or in complete denial. You know,
I would make the greatest gay guy in the history of gay guys, except that I like women. I love. Yeah, no, it could very well be a problem. I mean, I have a tattoo of Divine on my arm. I don't get things like that. Don't bother me. Yeah, I couldn't in a million years tell you why I like the Spice Girls. There's no logic. I mean, are they amazing? No. I mean, is their music amazing? No. Are they fun? They seem fun enough. They seem harmless enough, you know. Yeah, no, I do. I like the Spice Girls. I can't even pretend. But that's true. In the UK, there's a lot more of those bands. I mean, there's a lot in the United States of crappy, more so boy bands. But I mean, there's in England, there's a million, one after the next, of these kind of like all girl.
One Direction. I'm sure. I don't know if you heard of One Direction. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're
I do. Yeah.
They're the current sort of whatever. But Tom, you know, since we're buddies here, and you know we're having a drink together, I will admit when it's deep dark winter and there's maybe a bit of snow and it's cold and is it Two Becomes One comes on? Is that their kind of Christmas single?
To Become One.
When it comes on, I feel a wee tingle.
To become one.
Just a wee tingle. You know, just for you, Tom. I'll open up and I'll like that one.
Until you've heard me 2 a.m. in the karaoke bar in Koreatown near where I work, drunkenly singing To Become One, you haven't lived. So, you know, you can't judge it until you've heard that.
If I get a tingle at that point, then I'll be seriously worried. Like, you know.
That's I'm tingling, but it's usually the Jameson at that point.
All right, on a high note, I'm going to wrap up the Spice Girls thing, and I'm going to say, Tom, you know, I'm not the guy that ever doubts anybody's musical taste. You know, that's everybody's personal thing, and it's that thing. But when it's just so shocking that you're a 6'5" guy in New York with this New York accent.
I'm only 6'4", to be fair.
Whatever. And this New York accent, and you love the Spice Girls, and so that it's funny to me, and that's good stuff. I'm in the middle of the sandwich here.
Me too.
Shit, that's my wife. Hang on. Fuck.
Drop your video.
Me?
Hey, man.
No. Her. Him.
Him.
Ned.
Oh, honey, I'm making a movie. A show. A show. Hi, buddy. I don't know, because I live here. Wow. No, as a matter of fact, yeah, I'm not going to vacuum.
I'm actually buying a record off eBay as we speak. So.
Oh. You're an addict.
No, this is only the second one I bought all year, actually.
Well,
it was $4, so I couldn't go wrong.
That's acceptable. Well, we got a nice bit of material.
It's too
here,
easy.
Anyway.
I'm back.
Okay.
I just want you to know, she said.
Go. What'd she say?
Oh, if I hung up with you guys, she would have phone sex with me, but yeah, you fucked that up.
We've all had our offers.
Can you get a fourth can you get a fourth window going?
If we can, dude, we'll Uber.